Hey guys, Enigma coming at you with another video here. Hope you're having a great weekend. I got a lot of good responses from my video last week about why I want physical games over digital games and all that, and I do feel that way. I know I'm a dinosaur fighting the asteroid at this point, but I will continue to fight the good fight and stick up for your rights and my rights as physical copy holders of video games and owning what you purchase basically, and there's no rentals, which is what they want. But anyway, that's not the point of this video. There's another point to this video, and that is the future of third party gaming and probably first party gaming as well when we get down to it. I've been thinking about this for a little bit about where third parties are going, and we're stuck in a rut right now with third parties. Where I'm sorry, with AAA third parties is what I'm talking about here. Where if it's not something that they is immediately recognizable, like from a legacy IP or a sequel or a reboot or a remaster or a sequel, they really tend to pass it by. And 20 years ago, it wasn't like that. A lot of third parties took chances on independent games. I don't know if you guys know how the Kiss the Ring thing works, but as a if I was a game developer and I'm not, and I had a great idea, I thought for a game, I would take the game and I would take it around to all the third parties to see which one might be interested in picking it up and marketing it and publishing it for me. And a lot of the times I've been in meetings where they've discussed this, where sometimes a game idea is so good, the publisher decides, hey, we need to put more money behind this. It's not just going to be a simple this and that. We can actually make a lot of hay off of this. So, very, very different time in gaming. I call it kissing the ring, where you'd have to go around and kissing the ring of Konami and Capcom and EA and Activision and all them, just to see which one might take an interest in your game. Well, I'm sure it still happens to a point, but it doesn't happen like that anymore. Now your third parties are so obsessed with just trying to get money in the bank because they're spending upwards of 200 to 300 million dollars per game just to get them out. They don't have the money or the time to really take a chance on something. So it's been left up to these smaller independent developers to basically kind of market their own stuff and publish their own stuff, which because of digital distribution they can totally do and get it. And I'm completely in favor of that. The problem is a lot of these third parties are sitting on legacy IPs that they are not using, that they're just sitting there collecting dust. And I'm sorry, I don't know why this is the case, because if you're sitting on IPs that are collecting dust, they're not making you any money. So why do you have them? Why don't you sell them? Why don't you get rid of them? Why don't you try to monetize it? Right? That's what you should be doing as a company. But instead, these companies are sitting on their high horse and keeping their stuff. And I think a lot of it has to do with arrogance, and a lot of it has to do with not wanting to bend the knee to a smaller company. Okay, because there are some examples of what I'm going to say that I think the future is going to be, and it's been recent. We just saw Ninja Gaiden come out, and we're about to see Shinobi come out here pretty soon, right? From Sega for Shinobi and Koei Tecmo for Ninja Gaiden, where these third parties realize they're sitting on these IPs that no one's using. So why not recruit and partner smaller developers to make games and go into it together? Right? It's not this kind of thing where you have a dedicated IP like Batman. Okay, like if I was going to make a Batman game, the first thing I got to do is go over to DC headquarters and pitch my idea and let them know, hey, this is what I want to do for Batman. Maybe have some illustrations, storyboards, maybe a short video or something like that. None of that's beyond the realm of speculation, but DC is going to go, hey, Enigma, we love your idea for a Batman game. We think you could make a lot of money off of that. That'll be X amount of dollars. Like there's an upfront charge for you to make a game with Batman in it. And their idea, and rightfully so, the way they look at it is that my game is going to draw far more attention with Batman in it than it would be if I didn't have Batman and I put in Bateman, from the commercials or something. You know what I mean? So that part I get, and the risk of using something like that is never going to be on the legacy IP holder. It's always going to be on the person who's trying to develop or make something off of that IP, right? So DC Comics isn't going to go, well, we're going to take a risk on you making a Batman game. No, it's you're the one that's going to take the risk. We're just going to provide you with the bill. And that's how it's been for a long time. But I think with Ninja Gaiden and Shinobi that it happened a little differently because they got smaller developers to do it, and I think that we should need to see more of this, especially from these companies that are sitting on legacy IPs that they're not making games of anymore. Like Konami's got Castlevania, and there are thousands of developers out there who make Metroidvania games, and thousands of developers out there who are directly inspired by Castlevania games to get into making games. You know what I mean? So instead of sitting on your high horse and saying I'm expecting a stipend of 10, 20, $1 million, whatever the stipend is, because I have no idea what it is. But instead of doing that, why wouldn't you just why if I was with Konami, I'd say why don't we just have an arm of our company whose entire purpose is go to cultivate relationships with independent developers so they can take our IPs and make them make games based off of them, and then no, are we going to make quadrillions of dollars off of it? No, but we're not making any money off of it right now as it is. So why don't we partner and just say, hey, let's work with each other. We'll give you all the tools that you need to. Here's the story, here's the Bible, here's this, here's what we would like you to make. See what you can do. Come back to us. We'll work with you. We won't, and then at the end of the day, you sell the game for 20, $30 or whatever it is, and you keep half and we keep half, and we'll call it even or something like that. That's what I think a lot of gaming is going to be. Half and half is probably not what it would end up being, but it wouldn't be this nose-loaded kind of way right now where these developers are out there going, man, I'd love to make a Castlevania game, and Konami's like, you can do it, just get the checkbook out. And I don't think that's going to be the future of third-party gaming, because the third parties are kind of quaking in their boots right now. That Ubisoft has really kind of put the screws to a lot of gamers to the point where we're paying a lot more attention to what third parties are doing with legacy IPs and things like that. And I think a lot of third parties are kind of, I don't want to say running scared, but they're trying to be careful to not piss off their audiences. At least that's what they're trying to do. They're not doing a very good job of it, but that's what they're trying to do. And I honestly believe that the future is if you are sitting on a whole bunch of legacy IPs that you're not doing anything with, why not have a division of your company that their whole sole purpose is to go out there and find smaller developers, independent developers, and try to bring them in to make something off of your game and to make something off of your IP. And instead of trying to rake them over the coals for 7 and 8 digits, you just kind of cut a deal where it's 60-40 or whatever it is, and go from there. That's what I believe. So who knows what's going to happen, but I think I could really honestly see a situation where that's going to be the norm. Now you're still going to have like Electronic Arts is going to make Madden and FIFA and games like that. They're not going to. First of all, the NFL and FIFA would probably have an absolute shit fit if EA took the NFL and gave it to a smaller developer and said, make a football game. They'd probably like, no, I'm not going to do that. But the EA is sitting on like Need for Speed they're not doing anything with right now. Why not have someone fish out there with Need for Speed and say, hey, you independent developers, if you ever want to make a really cool racing game, give us your ideas for a Need for Speed. We want to hear it. Let's see. Let's work together instead of the way that it is right now. There's no ring kissing right now because the independent developers don't need to kiss the ring, and the third parties know that. So it needs to be a business decision where they get together and come up with a game and a concept for the legacy IP, and where they can both make some money. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. I don't know. Again, I haven't been in the business for over a decade, so I don't know how much of that is actually happening or not happening. I know that it is. I'm pretty sure it happened with Ninja Gaiden, and it is happening with Shinobi, but it's not happening to the point where it's normal. And but it does give me hope because legacy IP holders out there of like Nickelodeon with the Ninja Turtles with Shredder's Revenge, they did that entire thing correctly. That's the way it should be done. Now, I don't know the ins and the outs of the contract or how much Nickelodeon got, or I don't know any of that. All I know is that this developer went in and said we want to make a game based off of the '80s TV show of Ninja Turtles, a spiritual successor to the arcade games, and Nickelodeon could have said no, or they could have done whatever, but that's not what they did. They said cool, let's do it, and we got it. So I think that's going to be the future of where we're going to be, instead of the nose loaded IP holders requiring a big stipend at the beginning, because it's bankrupted companies. It's really put companies in a bad position. Want to know how I know that? Just ask Square Enix. What happened to Crystal Dynamics with the Avengers game? What happened with that? Marvel didn't take the hit on that. Marvel got their stipend. There was a lot of money Marvel got for licensing out the Avengers to Square Enix, and it didn't make Square Enix any money. So that's going to do it for today, guys. This next week schedule should be pretty much normal, except for Wednesday. Wednesday, the 13th, I have a dentist's appointment at 5 p.m., so my stream in the afternoon I'll cut short at 4:30. In fact, on Wednesday I might just go ahead and do a marathon stream. I've been doing some marathon streams and skipping lunch the last couple of streams, just simply because I've had decent viewership for me and I've been growing a little bit. So I'm going to be Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon, and then 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. is my normal schedule. Wednesday I'll probably leave at 4:30 instead of 5, because I have to be at the dentist by 5. Okay, so otherwise that's it. So thanks for being here, guys. Do me a favor and smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, and comments, share, like my stuff, let people know that I'm there. I know it's like it's stupid to keep saying this, but it really helps out engagement. It really helps me grow, and I really want to get monetized on YouTube by the end of the year. Okay, so I will see everybody coming up this week for streaming. I'm going to start Persona 5 Royal, second playthrough, on Monday, I believe. So I'll see you guys at 9 a.m. On Monday morning. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you.